hey, he's telling me
Hello,
smile. And I'm thinking,
everybody.
I know what you all just did. I don't know about the
Yeah.
smiling. You
Is
just
there
came
any
through.
smiles left?
Probably, but it can be kind of tough. The payoffs, the poisons, and those hidden agendas. Yeah,
Yes.
that's part of being human. Don't get down on yourself. It's
No.
super important right now that
No.
you don't. All you're doing is learning more about you,
Yeah.
because when you shine that light on, it's super easy to change. So we have some techniques and some things that we're going to walk you through. Definitely the theta that we use can change some of those just super fast, but you can't change it if you're not completely aware.
Yep.
So really sit with it. And another thing with this is that, as you're going through the mill, every time you go to create something, this is a good process to go through, and you'll
Yeah.
seeing is there's a lot to it, but it can happen real quickly, especially if it's something simple. But you notice that you're going to have different payoffs, and the whole thing is different each time. So give it the respect and the humility of coming at it brand new each time, and you will find all kinds of new facets of yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you don't expect one of your kids, if you're married or whatever, to, if they do something wrong, you're not going to get on them or down because they didn't know. And that's
Mm-hmm.
the way we are.
Mm-hmm.
We are just now beginning to know and learn about ourselves, the truth about ourselves. And so,
And how we've been
yeah,
creating for,
yeah,
because this isn't a moral thing either. None of this has anything to do with
no,
moral judgments. It's just about getting all of those raw materials completely clean. That's all it is. The
yeah.
rest of it, I mean, that is for another day in another place. For right now, we're learning how to
Yeah.
manifest
You're
reality.
just going to school to learn how to manifest
Exactly,
reality.
just the
Yeah,
tools. All
exactly.
right, so the next one is the impact.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah. Impact.
there's two things here. We're going to start out with impact. You talk about that for sure because you're.
Impact is about what you're wanting to create here. What's it going to look like if you get this? That what you're asking for and wanting about you or your life, whether it's career,
But
uh,
it's the impact
but
on the people
but it's
around
the
you,
impact on what's that going to do to your spouse or your parents or your
your kids or
children,
your
you
best
know,
friends. It doesn't matter.
whoever it
The
is.
impact that you have.
Right.
I mean, part of that impact too, especially for those of us that are in entrepreneurship, to where you really have some big goals and dreams. Part of the impact is the fact
Mm-hmm.
that you're going to be able to do some philanthropy and
Yeah.
start giving back. That's impact, and we want to know all the good stuff as well as
Yeah.
all the negatives.
What's
This isn't all about just the
no,
negatives, because when you find the good stuff, those gems, mm, that's the stuff we
you know,
celebrate. So
what's
find those;
yeah,
they're in there.
what's it going to do to your wife? I mean,
Hmm.
how's that going to make her feel? What's
In a good way.
yeah, and
You know,
good yeah,
how good does that feel? You mean you put your kids through college, you can do it. That's if you're doing on money. If it's your health,
yeah.
obviously those impacts get big.
And then
Hmm.
the opposite side of that coin is what's it going to be like if you don't
If you don't.
succeed, if you don't get this?
And it changes perspective
Yeah,
off of yourself onto those around
right.
you, and
How
who you can affect.
how's your wife going to feel? Your kids,
Mm-hmm.
how is that going to affect them if you're the provider, and what's it going to do to them on the
Hmm.
opposite side of it?
Yeah, it wakes you up, and it gives you a lot more motivation. A lot of times we
Yeah,
find our why is real.
sometimes we need that.
Yeah, is real involved in there. Now the next one is your identity, and with that,
Mm,
that's what you do and what you say and what you think. And it's around this particular subject. We always have to be remembering what it is. It's not just me as a human.
right.
It's me as I'm wanting to create such and such, okay? And to find this, you look to those payoffs, poisons, and hidden agendas. Are you stuck in righteousness? Do you have an identity of being self-important, or maybe the cheap and false is the ones that
Yeah.
kind of hit you? Is there blame, self-pity, the punisher, the coward? What is it? Where do you sit there for your identity around this? Now there's going to be a positive identity as well.
Hmm.
That we're going to look at, and you want to bolster that, but you've got to be able to take this other identity away. And so the more you work with it, the more it is easy to change. It really is.
Yeah, and you can't be that.
Hmm. And the impact and identity they're kind of fused together. I know it seems like two separate subjects, but it's not. How we relate to the world and the impact we have on it, it all comes back to the ego, and we'll be working with that in depth for sure.
For sure.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Okay, now the other question that we have is on consequences.
Consequences.
And that's
yeah,
different than impact.
because that's about the things in your life. You know, it's like, okay, is this going to make you or feel that you've got to move across country, buy a new home, you know, or do you have to sell this home and go across? Are you know, whatever the situation is, are you, you know, do you need to get a new car? Or are you going to have
Or if
to
you're,
have a
if you're
new car?
manifesting losing weight, I've lost 169 pounds. That's something you want to think about. What are the consequences? I'm going to have to go get a new
Yep.
wardrobe. You want to be able to think that. Number one, it helps with your imagination. It can flesh out some other issues that you may have in there. But it also gives you where you're not going to hit those sticking points. It's like, whoa, I didn't see that coming. You'll see it up front, because you know what? When you create what you want in your life, you create the consequences as well.
Yep.
And that's something that sometimes I think we forget. You know, we just want that one thing, and we don't take enough time to really look around and see how it's going to impact and change everything.
Yeah, because it becomes a domino almost.
Well, and the millionaire mindset, that's a good
Yep,
one to,
yep.
to kind of put it in perspective for you. If you are going to become a millionaire compared to where you're at today, or if you're already a millionaire and you're bumping it up to the next level, what are you doing? What are you saying? What are you thinking? How are you behaving? What does it do to everything around you? It's completely different. It changes the dynamic with how you interact with your world. So taking a look at that up front so that it isn't something that holds you back is what we're doing here in this
Yeah.
exercise.
Let's say you've struggled most of your life. You're finally going out on your own. You've got this great, brilliant idea, and you become a millionaire, but your mindset is still basing on struggling,
gonna last
paying the
real long.
bills next month,
Or you'll be
Yeah.
a millionaire that's poor.
Yeah.
I've known quite a few of them,
Yep.
and you know what?
Yep.
When you manifest and you leap ahead of where your psychology is with it, it can get taken away real quick, and it can also create a whole lot of issues for you. It doesn't feel like you're any different. There are a lot of people that you just have bigger problems with different
Yeah.
things, but you're still worried about paying the bills and all kinds of stuff like that.
And-
It's the same thing with losing weight. You want to go have a lap band surgery and get skinny real quick, and then you look like a wrinkled up old prune, and you got to go through those. You got to look at all of that before you do it. And I know it sounds silly to talk about, but we have to, because that's the kind of stuff that holds us back. So that's where you're at for right now. Now, once you get down with this, we're going to be heading off into that pivotal point of image. And the image work it's intense, but it's good intense, and it has some magical stuff around it. So really come at that fresh. So as much as you want to move forward with this, do, like I said in the last one, take your time here and just sit with it,
Yeah.
and let the changes happen before you move forward too fast with it. And then come at the image from a whole fresh perspective. Keep a lot of journaling going on. Once you get done with the image work, then I want you to set up a time with me, and let's just kind of talk it through. And if there's anything that we can use just some theta healing on and get you moved through real quick, we'll do it that way.
Yeah. But it's all about mindset. It's all about where your head is. And remember, you create your reality.
Every
And
little bit of it.
One that I've said for years and years and years, you are today where your thoughts have brought you, and you will be tomorrow where your thoughts take you. So you guys are the director, the producer.
That's right.
So
All
let's
right,
get
guys.
it together.
Get your work done, and be sure and check over into the Facebook community. Get in there as often as you can. Let's get a community going. I just love to see everybody
Yeah.
working together, because
That would be
we're going to
super.
try to take this a little bit further and start creating for the world, and I think we can.
Yeah.
I really do. Okay, guys, we'll see you soon.